The Master, the Journey of Preston Mayo. In the small village of Hoshinori, nestled between towering mountains and deep, winding rivers, a young boy named Preston Mayo stood at the foot of a stone temple. The sun was dipping below the horizon, casting an orange glow across the landscape, but Preston paid no attention to the beauty around him. His heart was filled with quiet determination. He had spent years in this place, training under the watchful eye of Master Cade, a wise and stoic sensei whose reputation stretched far beyond the village. Preston's father, Mark Mayu, had once been a warrior of great renown, a protector and champion of justice who had fought in countless battles. But one fateful day, he had fallen, slain in a treacherous ambush by a dark sorceress. Her name was Ariel Mack, and the memory of that tragic day haunted Preston's every step. His father's sword, once wielded by a great hero, now hung at his side, a constant reminder of the man he had lost and the vengeance he sought. For years, Preston had studied under Master Cade's tutelage, learning not only the ways of combat, but also the deep wisdom and humility required to walk the path of a true warrior. To many, Cade was a recluse, a hermit who had withdrawn from the world after losing his own family to war. But to Preston, Cade was both father and teacher, though he never treated Preston like a son. Instead, Preston was a humble servant, tasked with daily chores, sweeping the dojo floors and fetching water from the river. He accepted these duties without hesitation, knowing they were part of his training. "Master, when will I be ready?" Preston asked one evening as they sat beneath the shade of a cherry blossom tree. His voice was soft but filled with longing. Master Cade sat with his back straight, his eyes closed in quiet meditation. His expression was calm, almost impassive, yet wisdom radiated from him like an ancient oak. His robes, though worn from years of use, remained impeccably clean. "You will be ready when you cease longing for readiness," Master Cade replied, his voice as gentle as rustling leaves. "The journey of vengeance is not one of force, Preston. It is one of patience, humility, and discipline. You seek revenge on Ariel Mack, but you will not defeat her with anger or haste, only with a clear mind." Preston nodded, though he did not fully understand. All he wanted was to drive his father's sword through the sorceress's heart to avenge the blood that had been spilled. But Master Cade's words carried weight, and Preston respected his wisdom. "Forgive me, Master, but I do not think I can wait much longer," Preston admitted, lowering his gaze in shame. "My heart burns with the need for vengeance. Every night I dream of her, and in those dreams I am the one who falls." Master Cade turned his head slightly, his sharp eyes locking onto Preston's. "Vengeance is a path that consumes the heart, Preston, and when it consumes the heart, there is little left of the soul to guide your blade. You carry the sword, yes, but more important is the hand that wields it." Preston clenched his fist around the hilt of his father's sword. It was a magnificent weapon, forged from the finest steel with intricate engravings that shimmered in the light. Yet he knew its true power lay not in its craftsmanship, but in the legacy it carried. "Master, you know I must confront her one day. I cannot stay in the shadows forever," Preston said, his voice steady. Master Cade sighed, rising to his feet with the fluidity of water flowing downstream. "I do not say you should not confront her. But understand this, the moment you seek her out is the moment you must be ready to give up everything else. Your vengeance will be your only companion, and it will never let you rest. If you are not prepared to bear that burden, then you will be as lost as she is." Preston stood as well, bowing deeply. "I understand, Master." For weeks, he continued his training under Cade's guidance. His body became stronger, his movements more precise. Every day was filled with sparring, meditation, and chores, all of which honed his skills. But it was not until a stormy evening, when the winds howled through the temple and rain lashed against the windows, that Preston received the final lesson he needed. The storm had passed, and Preston knelt by the fire, drying his soaked robes. Master Cade approached, his expression solemn. In his hand, he held an old scroll, its edges tattered with age. "Preston," he said, his voice low and grave, "it is time for you to understand the true nature of the path you walk." Preston looked up, his heart skipping a beat. "Master?" Master Cade unfurled the scroll, revealing an ancient map. It depicted the lands beyond the mountains, where Ariel Mack was said to reside, surrounded by darkness and magic. You have trained in body and mind, but now you must prepare for the trials of the soul, Cade said. There is more to your vengeance than bloodshed, Preston. Ariel Mac's power is not only in her magic, it lies in the souls she has consumed, the hatred, the despair, and the fear of those who sought her destruction. Preston's breath caught in his throat. I have to be ready for everything, don't I, Master? Yes, Cade said, his gaze piercing through Preston's resolve. You must be ready to confront not just her, but your own darkness. Only when you have conquered yourself can you face her. And with that, Cade handed Preston the scroll. Go then. The time has come for you to find your true purpose, but remember, the sword will not make you a hero. Only your heart can do that. Preston bowed low, his heart heavy with gratitude and uncertainty. He had spent years under Cade's watchful eye, learning how to fight and how to think, but now it was time for him to step into the world and seek his revenge. Master Cade's teachings echoed in his mind as he packed his belongings, his father's sword, a few provisions, and the map that would lead him toward Ariel Mac's stronghold. As Preston stepped out of the temple and into the world beyond, he felt the weight of his journey settling onto his shoulders. The road ahead would be long and fraught with peril, but it was a road he had to walk. Master Cade's final words rang in his ears. The sword will not make you a hero. Only your heart can do that. Preston's heart burned with a quiet fire, not for revenge alone, but for the honor of his father. He had trained as a servant, learning patience and humility. Now it was time to become the warrior he had always aspired to be. And perhaps along the way, he would learn that vengeance was not the end of his journey, but only the beginning. And so, with his father's sword in hand and his sensei's wisdom in his heart, Preston Mayo set out into the unknown, ready to face the darkness and whatever trials awaited him on the path to vengeance.